Human branding. European Americans and other colonial slavers branded millions of slaves during the period of the Atlantic slave trade, according to Wikipedia. The practice of branding enslaved people was a brutal form of ownership markings used to dehumanize and control individuals, according to the Encyclopedia of Virginia and Flex. Hot branding irons, often bearing an S shape or the initials of the enslaver, were used to permanently scar the skin, marking the enslaved as property.
Benefiting from blackface, Montclair released a line that some say resembles the harmful Sambo stereotype. Katy Perry released shoes that resemble blackface. Prada produced this black monkey with exaggerated red lips. And these are just some of the examples. The offending items are usually removed from stores after the brands face backlash from consumers. But it begs the question, why exactly are these items racist? Sambo was a term used to describe black people during slavery. In 1899, a children's book, The Story of Little Black Sambo, helped solidify the derogatory caricature of dark-skinned children. The resemblance of some of high fashion's hot items is striking. And this image didn't stop with the drawings. White actors would paint their faces black and leave large outlines around the mouth to imitate having full lips.
In 2025, some of our indigenous black people are still suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. What is post-traumatic slave syndrome? Post-traumatic slave syndrome is a theory that explains the etiology of many of the adaptive survival behaviors in the African American communities throughout the United States and the diaspora, according to Dr. Joy Degree.
Critics call slave shoes. Take a look at the pictures. This is from the Adidas Facebook page. The high-top sneakers called the JS Roundhouse Mids were expected to go on sale in August, but civil rights leaders say the shoes are insensitive and remind them of slavery. Adidas responded in a statement saying the design of the JS Roundhouse Mid is nothing more than the designer Jeremy Scott's outrageous and unique take on fashion. It has nothing to do with slavery. We apologize if people are offended by the design, and we are withdrawing our plans to make them available in the marketplace. Now, one of those upset by the shoe is civil rights leader, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Welcome.
Good morning.
What offended?
I am astonished at the insensitivity. It was a gross insult. We were prepared to engage in a boycott in 50 markets. We contacted the Adidas yesterday and contacted David Stern, who in turn, within a few minutes, called Adidas and had it canceled. They canceled because they're going to call from David Stern and the threat of a real boycott.
Well, the fact is that the shoe went from an idea to a concept to an actual product before anyone thought it would be even slightly controversial. What do you make of that?
I mean, that Adidas was insensitive, and they went through the whole vetting process, and to conjure up the idea of slavery and to have some of their African-American ball players is a bit much to take. And so because it is insensitive, and because it reminds me so much of the gold tooth ad that Toyota had to reject some years ago. But this is a bit far, and of course we wrote them and David Stern, and we began to contact ball players and met ministers from around the country that were prepared for really a full-scale rejection of this.
Well, I posted a picture of these shoes and the story on my Facebook page, and I just want to read you a few comments. This is one comment from Lonnie. He says, people wonder why we can't move on from this issue. It's because some person with an addiction to media has to hang on to something like this. I can't believe this is even an issue. He says it's just a pair of ugly shoes.
Well, it's according to where your sensitivity zone is. I mean, the slave shackles, it's a 246-year experience connected to Jim Crow. We're fighting these battles now to make us better. So it's offensive. It may not be offensive to the blogger. We're certainly insensitive to a whole body of people. I've begun to contact athletes who likewise are selling these shoes, and they were going to rebel as well.
Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand. They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off brands. You wonder why? Well, listen to what this customer is thinking.
That last hat I bought just didn't hold up at all.
You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth. Buying by brand. That's the first important Negro buying habit. Now for the second. The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. Listen to her thoughts.
Isn't it beautiful? I can hardly wait to show it to Sally and Joe.
Now in 2025, we still have some indigenous black people looking towards the former slave masters' children to validate them through name brands. Understand the psychological warfare that's been played on indigenous people. Take your rappers for an example. When they get some money, the first thing they buy is a chain to put around their neck. Then they call a vehicle that they purchase a whip. So they get chains around their neck and whips for cars. Chains and whips. Slave mentality.
Designs have been stolen from African tribes. Here are some of the examples. The famous Versace Greco print was stolen from the Funban tribes in Cameroon, and even the LV monogram with the famous sign inside was stolen from the Kwele tribe. And in the LV's Man collection in 2012, you can find the Masai Shuka, which is a traditional African blanket based in colorful shades of red and blue. This one is often used in the Maasai tribes of Kenya and Tanzania. Do you know more designs that got stolen? And more importantly, should these tribes be compensated?
In conclusion, family, we must be more economically intelligent with our resources. Stop spending money on people who detest your very existence to impress people you don't know, spending money you don't have. Reinvest in yourself, your family, your community. Create generational wealth for our people. Remember this, family. The most expensive thing in this world is trust, and cheap people can't afford it. So I'm going to leave you in the manner in which I came, with a universal prayer. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, please continue to bless my listeners, their family, their friends, and the true believers for when the day of reckoning takes place. For universal creator, you are all wise and all knowing, and unto you we all shall return. But until then, we give you the praise and glory that's due to you from this life into the earth. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, in your name we pray that this shall be done. Also, family, get yourself a copy of the Black Universal Creators 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts. The paperback's available on Amazon, ebooks on Kindle. And for my subscribers and my supporters, you can go to theblack.awaken.com and get your discount on ebooks. Again, like and share, reach one, teach one, peace, and take care.